I, 46 male, am a single dad to my daughter, Alexis, nearly adult. Alexis is transgender and came out 2 years ago. It's been a pretty big adjustment, especially for the older folks, particularly my grandmother, who's 92 and has mild dementia. Recently, my daughter had her nearly adult birthday. She already had a fun day with friends planned. Still, my sister, who lives with my grandma and is her main carer, suggested we also have a family birthday at Grandma's house. Alexis thought it was a great idea. By all accounts, the party went great until it was time for the cake. Now, baking has always been my grandma's passion, and even in her old age, she still bakes and decorates cakes all on her own. She usually makes them for family gatherings and takes great pride in her work. My sister brought the cake out, and the frosting read, "Happy Birthday, Dead Name." As soon as she saw the cake, Alexis started crying, and I quickly gathered our things, and we left in a hurry. We had box cake and ice cream while we watched her favorite movie, and I eventually got her feeling better. While that was happening, my phone blew up with texts from my sister, but I put her on mute while I comforted Alexis. After Alexis went to her room and started gaming, I looked over the texts from my sister. They started fairly normal. Is she okay? Will you guys be coming back? Etc. And then devolved into accusing my daughter of being ungrateful and unstable. She said that Alexis should have put on a smile because Grandma worked so hard on the cake, and it isn't my grandma's fault she's old, etc. I texted her back and said that Alexis didn't want to spend any more time with family today, and that was a horrible thing to say about her. My sister responded with, "K. Most of my relatives are on my side, but I've been getting the silent treatment from my sister and Grandma. Am I the idiot?" Not the idiot. Let me get this straight. Your sister wants you to believe that this was wholly the doing of a 92-year-old with dementia. So, as a caretaker of a 92-year-old with dementia, she felt solo baking was cool? Well, happy birthday to you too, OP, because clearly your sister thinks you were born yesterday. Yeah, this is such a BS excuse. There's no way a 92-year-old woman with dementia was baking alone. You can be sure if my grandma had dementia, I'd be hovering all over her at times to ensure she doesn't forget the cake in the oven, that she's doing everything right, isn't burning herself, etc. Even if they magically trusted her to bake solely on her own, it's not even vaguely tricky to wipe away the frosting with the dead name and say, "Sorry, Grandma, she changed her name, remember?" Or, "It's actually Alexis's birthday today. Let's rewrite it." Instead, they used her dementia as an excuse to harm a kid. Hell, drop a spatula on the name and smear it on the way up, at the very least. I might brace myself for some very nasty beliefs of OP's sister to surface over the text she sent. Am I paranoid for thinking it's very revealing that she immediately started referring to Alexis's reaction as unstable rather than bratty? I'm with you on this. I feel like the fact that sister chose the word unstable was more about her invalidating completely the entire legitimacy of trans identity, like she sees it as a mental disorder that needs curing. What excuse would your sister have if the cake had been accidentally addressed to a different grandchild or contained major misspellings? Would she really have brought it out and expected Alexis to be happy? Or would she have found a way to remove the icing? Call her out. When she objects, call her unstable. Parrot back all her own language to her. Make it obvious what you're doing. Make it clear to her that she did this to your daughter. OP, I applaud you. I'm a trans woman too, and this kind of support from a parent means more than you know. Getting your daughter out of there was the best thing you could have done for her. Being trans is hard enough as is, but having your name and identity disrespected in a way that seems so deliberate is a slap in the face. I, 23 male, have been dating my boyfriend, 19, for a year, and he struggles a bit in social settings and can come off as rude sometimes. For example, my sister, 27, has had a cat ever since she moved out. Our parents didn't allow pets, who has now unfortunately passed away. My sister came to visit me a couple of days ago, and kept talking about how much she's grieving her cat. And even now, she's still crying at night over it. My boyfriend overheard and told her, "Isn't it kind of embarrassing for an adult to cry over a cat? Just get another one." My sister didn't take it well and started scolding him and raising her voice at him. He also struggles with people yelling because of his abusive dad, and at some point called him soulless, to which my boyfriend replied that at least he's not a dumb woman like her. I tried to calm things down as much as I could, but the damage was already done, and my sister left in tears. I tried to lecture my boyfriend about what he said, but he didn't seem to be listening to me, so I just gave up. I thought we'd smooth things over later once my sister calms down, but I just found out that she banned my boyfriend from the upcoming Easter party she's going to host and said that if I try to bring him regardless, she'll cut me off from her life too. I said that she was overreacting, and she knows my boyfriend is a bit standoffish, but doesn't mean any harm, and I could make him apologize for what he said to her, but she said she's had enough of that jerk insulting her and everyone from our family. She knows he never means any of his half-baked apologies and only tells them for my sake. She told me that I could spend time with my family or keep being that idiot's personal public defender, and then hung up, which I think was uncalled for. My boyfriend does sometimes say things that can come across as rude. Still, he doesn't mean them, and my family was understanding, but it seems like that went out the window with my sister. I know I defend my boyfriend a lot, but I feel nobody understands him like I do, though I might have come across as an enabler of his bad behavior to a couple of people. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot, as is your boyfriend. What a callous thing to say to someone. Also, it sounds like this happens pretty often. Does this dude have any good qualities? Host your own Easter party with your rude boyfriend. I doubt anyone else would want to come. I'm sorry you're a dumb woman? My God, the whole post is a good example of why people say that folks age a lot between 18 and 25. OP's boyfriend is absolutely the idiot here, but I'm sensing some edgy teenage rudeness that many people grow out of by the time they hit their mid-20s. This is part of what you get when you date 4 years younger in this age range. OP shouldn't be tolerating it. People only grow out of this kind of thing when they lose enough friends because of their rudeness. Oh boy, you are the idiot. Isn't it kind of embarrassing for an adult to cry over missing a dinner? Just get another one. What he said about her cat is reason enough for her to never want to be around him again, unless he profusely apologizes and agrees to start using a filter before he lets things out of his mouth. You should back your sister up on this, not gaslight her into thinking the loss of her pet is insignificant. I would be furious at anyone who tried to downplay my grief over the loss of my pets. They're my little boyfriends forever, and no one's allowed to discount the grief of their loss. Apologize to your sister immediately, and maybe think about getting a more emotionally mature boyfriend. My sister's children, Harry, male tween, and Katie, female pre-tween, spent a night with us last week after her husband fell down the stairs and had to go to the hospital. I'm currently pregnant with a baby girl. I'll be honest, I do believe in traditional gender roles. However, I understand that this isn't a popular opinion and isn't for everyone. I definitely don't think anyone should be forced into living the way we do, but I enjoy taking care of my husband while he works hard to provide a life for us. My sister is the complete opposite of me. High-powered career. Her husband is the primary caregiver to the kids and took time off work when they were little. He's a plumber, but even now he only does occasional freelance jobs for friends and family because my sister earns enough that he doesn't need to work full-time. I don't judge them on their lifestyle, nor do I think they judge ours. The kids were playing outside while I was making dinner, and as I was making more than usual, I asked Katie to come in and help me set the table. Harry asked if I wanted him to help too, but I only needed a little help. A while later, Harry got bored out there by himself and again asked if we needed any help, but we were almost done by then. Everything seemed okay, but when I took the kids home after their dad left the hospital, my sister asked if they had a good time. She wasn't pleased when she was told that I'd only asked Katie to help set the table and not Harry. Once the kids had gone inside, she said she wasn't happy with me forcing my beliefs onto her kids. I don't think I did force my beliefs on anyone. I didn't refuse Harry's help because he was a boy, but because I didn't need both of them helping me. Also, as I will soon be a mother to a baby girl, I thought it would be nice to spend some one-on-one time with a little girl. I wasn't thinking about girls should do X and boys should do Y. I just did what worked at the moment. Am I the idiot? OP, kids don't know what's in your heart. Kids understand what you tell them and demonstrate to them. You demonstrated that girls should be asked to do chores, even if they don't want to, and that boys should not help with housework, even if they do want to and are more capable. I'm assuming since he's older. Your sister's absolutely right here, and you are the idiot. Gender stereotyping sucks, and spending time with a random little girl isn't going to prepare you for having your own unique person. Little girl isn't a personality type. One of the most upsetting things I saw on pregnancy and baby message boards were mothers who turned their baby's biological gender into a personality trait. Little lady doesn't like a wet diaper. She's so dainty. Little man doesn't need snuggles. He's a boy. So-called traditional gender roles erase individual strengths and impose toxic narratives on children. That is so sad. My son is 7 and still comes for random hugs. How hard would it have been to let them both set the table? Obviously, the kids were playing together, and you singled your nephew out by not letting him help. Your belief in traditional gender roles prompted you to leave him out, purposely or not. My female 24, sister 27, and her boyfriend 27 got engaged last December. They're planning their wedding, and they hope they can get married before the summer ends or early autumn. They've been dating for over 2 years now. Honestly, everyone in our family is kind of surprised by how long their relationship has lasted, because generally, neither of my sister's past relationships has survived the 1-year mark, LOL. Also, they're quite different regarding personalities. Amazingly, they've put their differences aside so far. My sister is very much superficial, kind of like a real-life Regina George, LOL. He's much more laid back. I like talking to him, as we share some hobbies like skating and surfing that my sister and brother don't like. So it's nice to have someone in the family interested in the same stuff as I do. Anyways, she's planning most of the wedding. She wants the wedding ceremony to be held in a big church in our city. She picked the flowers and such, so that part of the wedding is almost done. They're starting to plan the reception. And this is where the conflict comes. My sister wants to have the reception at a venue, the same one where she hosted her 18th birthday. It's a fancy place and really nice, and it suits her style. My future brother-in-law wants to have some kind of beach reception. He thought about reserving a restaurant near the beach and having a party there, something less fancy, but that suits his style and that I personally like better. However, my sister is refusing completely, mainly because she wants to have a big and expensive wedding, and the beach idea sounds too trashy for her. 2 days ago, we all got together for his birthday. Then my sister told us about this conflict and wanted us to agree with her to prove a point to her fiancé. Most family and friends agreed with her. However, I think that the beachy wedding is a good idea, so I told her that. Then she told me I was as trashy as brother-in-law's name. We started arguing, and then I told her she got the ceremony she wanted, and she should let him pick this one thing, because it's not only her wedding, it's their wedding. I also called her out for acting like a bridezilla. That caused the argument to escalate. It was me, my brother-in-law, and some other relatives against her and everyone else. Then she started crying and accused me of hating her and always being against her wishes. She also told her fiancé to screw off and marry me if he would make her cry over their reception. Suddenly, I was the bad guy, and my mom called me out because I knew my sister had dreamed about her wedding for a long time, and I should agree with her. So now everyone's upset with me. Am I the idiot? Oh dear, It's not going to end well. You are the idiot. Your whole entry here is about how wonderful your future brother-in-law is and how terrible your sister is. You seem to want the fiancé because you have so much more in common with him than your sister. Yep, I could be reading too far into this, but her sister's comment to her future brother-in-law about marrying OP sounds like this isn't the first time something like this has happened. OP is trying to show that she's a better match for her sister's fiancé. Pick me. I'll let you have a beach wedding. She's horrible. Pick me. Most couples have different ideas about wedding details. You work through it. Definitely agree. However, at the same time, OP isn't wrong. It's not just the sister's wedding. It's the partner's too. He should be able to get a say in his own wedding. The sister's acting my way or the highway. There's no meeting in the middle to find something they both want. I think OP's not the idiot. Calling someone a bridezilla when they are isn't that much of an idiot, especially when the sister's treating her soon-to-be husband like absolute trash. Someone needs to call her out. My 22 male girlfriend, 23, and I have been dating officially for 4 months. Still, we had been non-exclusively dating for about a year before making our relationship exclusive. She had a birthday party last weekend, and it was disco-themed. I'm not a disco fan, but I went because I love my girlfriend. I showed up with a couple of my friends, and after about an hour, we were all getting tired of the music and decided to go out to the bars. I told my girlfriend I would come back to help her clean up. She asked me if I could stay, which meant a lot to her, but I just wasn't feeling the music and wanted to go. I told her I wasn't having much fun, but we'd be back to help clean up and take her home. I left with my friends, and after 20 minutes, she texted me and said don't bother coming back, and that she had help from her friends, and that her mother would take her home. Things have been really weird since then, and she told me that what I did was rude and inconsiderate of her feelings, and that she wanted me there. I told her at least I showed up, even though that was not my type of setting. She should be grateful that I came, and I didn't need to be there the whole party. She started saying how she always does things that only spark my interest, which is true, but I reminded her that she isn't required to do that, and the conversation started to feel manipulative. I feel like she should be more grateful for what I do and not be stuck on the few things I don't. I feel like me at least showing up was really nice, and I even offered to come back and clean up, but she said no. She started backtracking and saying that she would understand if I went home, but was upset that I left to go do stuff with my friends and not that I just left. But why should I have to stay home while she's out having fun? Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Her saying she does things with you when she's not interested isn't being manipulative. It's her expressing she feels an imbalance in how you support each other. Not feeling the music is the lamest reason I've heard to date for leaving any party, leave alone one's girlfriend's birthday party. Unless you're autistic and that music or theme triggered you, you seem too individualistic to be in a relationship. Be happy I showed up is something you say to a distant acquaintance that you don't even like, not something you say to your girlfriend. Not everything is for you. If you love someone, you are supposed to be at their birthday for them. Good grief, you are the idiot. And honestly, I would be amazed if you still have a girlfriend in a week. Why do people get into relationships with this mindset? So he expects his girlfriend to be grateful to him that he briefly showed up to her party on her own birthday. Isn't the point of dating someone that you want to spend time with them? She's your girlfriend, dude. It was her birthday, and you brought friends to her party, hung out with them, and when they were bored after an hour, you dipped and went to a bar. You publicly humiliated her. Who walks out of their girlfriend's birthday party? She probably spent the rest of the night answering questions about where you went and why. You suck, bro.